Hi, I'm Dr. Michael Pearson, and today I want to talk about a topic that applies to me and possibly to you, right? They were taking my money and my health until that's the title of my video. And who is the they? The they are the food and beverage companies, right? The big food, beverage, and diet companies. And the how is the chemicals, okay? Or the what is the chemicals that they add to the food, beverage, and diet products that I and many of you were consuming or buying on a regular basis, okay? And these chemicals can cause you to gain weight and um, can cause all kinds of diseases, okay, and symptoms like headaches and fatigue. And so how did these, chemicals get into our food and beverages? So we have to go back in time a little bit to the 1970s, okay? And I'm reading a little bit from my new wellness guide here that is available digitally, but I have a paper copy. And so we're going back into the 70s, okay? In the 1970s, 75% of Americans either smoked or were getting exposed to tobacco products, okay? And this was no accident. Um, the workplace, you could smoke, depending on your age, you remember this, people could smoke at work, they could smoke at school, they could smoke inside a plane, it was everywhere. The smell of smoke was everywhere. And this was no accident, this was no mistake. The big tobacco companies had spent millions of dollars over the years to add up to 7,000 chemicals to the tobacco leaf to make it the most addictively legally sold product in the world. Okay, and so in the 1980s, the U.S. government, in the 70s, the majority, 75% of Americans, okay, were thin. We had a population of thin people because the nicotine was a stimulant and it kept people's weight down, but they were slowly dying from the chemicals, but it was from the tobacco. So in the 1980s, the U.S. government and the politicians said, "Hey, enough is enough." The burden of suffering and healthcare costs was too much, right? So they took the big tobacco companies to court, and they battled them in the court for many years in the 80s. And then it seemed that in the end, the US government won. The big tobacco companies were banned from advertising on TV, radio, billboards, and even comic books, which they were doing. Camel cigarettes was in a comic book, advertising comic books that directly targeted towards kids. But and it seemed to work because the tobacco companies had to pay for the truth advertising commercials, the public service announcements, and the number of new smokers went down to like an all-time low of like 20%. So it seemed to work. But what the American people and the politicians didn't realize is while the big tobacco companies were fighting in court, right? They were trying to figure out a way to prevent their future lost profits. So they came up with a plan. They said, what if they take some of those same addictive chemicals and they put them, they buy or purchase shares in the major food and beverage companies and become major shareholders, and they put those same chemicals in the foods and beverages and diet products to make profits. And so they did, and it worked. So now you fast forward today, 75% of Americans are considered, 70% are considered overweight, but up to 75% are considered unhealthy because they are drinking and eating these chemicals. Okay. And they're even in everyday household products. It could be your toothpaste, could be sunscreen. All these chemicals are, you're bombarded with 24/7. And so the good news, though, is that the information on how to avoid these chemicals, right? So the big tobacco companies, and now it's too late because all of the companies know. So even if the big tobacco companies don't own At one time, Philip Morris, which is big tobacco, owned Kraft Foods and Miller Brewing Company. So they control what chemicals go into those products, and you may not be aware of that. Right now, it's hard sometimes to figure out who owns what and that kind of thing. So maybe they don't own them anymore, but they did at one time. So the key is here that, you might think, okay, well, healthcare industry is going to save you, right? So I'm just looking at here, you think the healthcare industry is going to save you? Okay, you would be dead wrong. Because the sad truth is we do not have a healthcare system in the United States. We have a sick care system, okay? Just look at the numbers. In 2019, the United States of America spent $3.1 trillion, okay, on healthcare. That's 2.5 times more than any other country in the world. Yet, we rank dead last in every measure of health and wellness compared to every other developed country in the world. And this seems hard to believe because we have the best medical schools in the world. We have the best trained healthcare professionals in the world. We have the greatest access to healthcare technology. We have the greatest access to pharmaceuticals, okay? But none of this has made a difference, okay, against these chemicals. We are the sickest country in the world, which has been proven again by the fact that the United States of America in 2020 had the highest death rates from COVID-19 in the world because we were the sickest country to begin with. And then you have the virus come in and it was, even worse. So the good news is that the information to avoid these chemicals and to reduce your risk of cancer, diabetes, dementia, and other diseases, and even reverse some of those does exist. And so if you'd like some more free information, I have like a wellness checklist and some other stuff that I can email you for free. And you can kind of do your own assessment. And then, of course, if you have any questions or any help, you can ask me, okay? Just email me at pearson408@gmail.com, and I'll email that wellness checklist to you. And it has a lot of good information that could help prevent disease or reverse disease. I mean, it's invaluable, really, but it's for free. So why not take a look at it? Maybe there's something on there that you can learn. Please like my video. Please share with those that you love and care about, and have a nice day.